us.
We can hear you through this computer speaker here.
Oh, good. No, that's what it should be.
Is it got a line someplace?
Testing again. Do you all hear us?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's strange.
All right, you did it. All right.
Recording in progress.
Call the Board of Directors meeting for Wildewood Springs to order. Confirmation, I'll call to order, confirmation notice.
Yes, notice was posted on the 8th of June according to statutory requirements, and if I may say so, I just got word before the meeting, my grandson has been appointed to the Coast Guard Academy.
Congratulations. Roll call.
Cookie.
Yeah.
Roger.
Here.
I'm here. Shannon.
Here.
Steve.
Here.
Dick Cola.
No.
Denny Palmer. George Fisher.
Here.
Oh yeah, that's right. Monica.
Here.
Marv.
Here.
Tammy. Here. Tiffany. Here. Barbara.
Here.
Gus.
Here.
And John.
See,
Okay. I don't have a whole lot of comments. I did get one of these. It's $12, Amazon. If you have any worries about the coyotes when you're out walking your dog at night, I suggest getting one. I have little miniature dachshund, and I find myself, looking around a lot when I go out, so I got one. Oh yeah, I'm probably scared of the neighborhood.
you don't want to blow it up?
So do you have to take the time to take it out of the package when
Yeah. Wait, I'll tell you. Hey, hold on a minute, guys.
And you can't open these. I mean,
Oh, yeah. Anyway, that's, they haven't bothered anybody that I know of. I know that down in Wildewood too, a good friend of mine there has a camera out back that works on motion, and they come trotting by every night. So, but not bothering anybody that I know of. All right, minutes. We reviewed the minutes. Everybody read them? Problem with them? Somebody want to make a
I have
motion?
one edit. On page 2, palm tree trimming process, the palm trees are stated at 10 to 3, but it should be 9 to 3.
9 to 3,
Yeah, I saw
okay.
Just that one edit. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Anything else? Somebody want to make a motion to accept?
Yes. Move to accept.
Shannon. Second. Oh, John.
I can do it.
There you go.
As amended.
As a matter. Anybody opposed? Just thought I'd ask. I got jabbed in the ribs.
Then it should be May 31st instead of April 30th.
oh,
Oh, the regular
Treasurer's
meeting.
report.
May 31st?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's all done.
That's all done, yeah. All right, financial matters. Treasurer
It
report.
should be, it should state May 31st.
Right, yes. John was able to get the accountant to give us May reports, so that's the update on that. Income is over budget due to the collection of the insurance. There's special assessment because of the higher costs. On the expense side, under administration, it's higher than budgeted, mostly due to insurance, the higher insurance costs, and the extra legal fees as a result of Unit 364, which hopefully, when all the dust settles, legal issue settles with Unit 364, we'll be able to get those legal costs back. On the utilities, again, that's a timing difference between how the utilities are budgeted versus how they actually come in. And that should settle out by the end of the year. On the reserves, of the $1.9 million in reserve funds, we have $1.26 million invested in CDs at Edward Jones. And 2023 to date, through May, we've earned $12,630 in interest on those. Some of that is reinvested into CDs. We're still on target to earn about $38,000 in interest by the end of the year if we don't have any further new CDs that mature in 2023. So, and we have one CD maturing in about a week. So
It's actually in 3 days.
Thursday.
This Thursday,
We have
sorry.
an appointment.
Okay, and are we going to switch that from Bank of China to something else, please?
Well, I'll be honest, if Bank of China is offering a 5% something CD,
I don't feel comfortable having our money in China.
it's FDIC insured. So it's not that it's a factor that it's because it's them, it's still FDIC insured.
I'm not happy that it's in China.
Well, we'll take a look at that. I have feelings about it too, and there's gotta be someplace else to go. I mean, it's one that we're not gonna sell just because they're China now, because it hasn't matured, but it will be maturing in a very short
So
time.
it does, we'll look at it.
Yeah. We have an appointment Thursday to sit with Edward Jones and go over the options available. Put it into Russia. That's all I have.
Sorry.
They have a good CD rate, I'm buying it.
I didn't miss today, I turned mine off.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
So be it.
Got that next time.
Okay, accounts receivable as of the 31st of May, we've got 2 units that owe $500 or more. Units that owe 1 quarter, there are 4. Units that owe 2 quarters, there's 1. It's the unit 718, it's see under legal issues, which we'll address in a few moments. And units that owe more than 3 quarters, 2 units, 364 Springdale Drive, 345 Springdale Drive also, and that's all under legal issues when we get to it.
John, you usually do a schedule of accounts receivable.
Yeah, it didn't come in for this?
No, it's not
Okay.
in here.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
just let me know.
Yeah, okay, yeah, oh, for sure. You'll have it all in the morning. Okay.
Units with legal.
Legal, 364 is, as Barbara talked about, under the foreclosure. I talked to the attorney Friday. She's negotiating with she's contacted the attorney for the bank who said it's just a matter of him getting their people together to finalize this thing, but we are still on track to get the majority of everything we anticipate.
But,
It's just a matter of finish. He withdrew his suit against us that when we wanted all the money.
but until the unit's sold, they are still going to owe us our quarterly.
They pay, that's part of what they owe. That's why it's so high. They haven't paid a nickel since they took
Right.
over almost a year and a half ago.
Is there still funds in doubt? I mean, is some of the money I heard, or?
Now,
Yeah,
at present, there's nothing in doubt.
Is there any lawsuits? It's all-
Well, the lawsuit was, they sued us saying that they were gonna re-foreclose, naming the association, thereby getting the Safe Harbor Act of the state of Florida, allowing them only to pay 1 year of maintenance fees. Just before it was to come, as a matter of fact, the day before the suit was to be heard, they withdrew, and the attorney told me that their attorney felt that they didn't have a strong enough case to do that, so that's why it's,
So we're pretty well static. There is no negotiation anymore.
no, that's correct.
So we put-
We've told them right along, we're not negotiating. And so there's, we're looking at almost $17,000 to come in. The second one is 718, has a lien foreclosure against it again also, 224069. They are fighting the foreclosure by asking for a bunch of documents which we have provided, and that is going on also.
How many times have we put the?
Oh, this place has been twice.
It's been empty for 4 years.
Now we understand that it's up for sale, so maybe that'll take care of the whole thing.
Is that the one we had the mediation on?
It was 718.
Wasn't that the-
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one we were at, you know, and since then, they've been ruled against, but the attorney, again, is stringing it out. But I think they're just trying to string it out to the point where they sell it, and then we'll get our money because it's all 100% owed.
Okay.
Just for a quick thing here, if they go in and continue the remodeling, they will have to have building permits, am I correct?
Depending on what they're doing.
Well, my problem, my issue there, and I don't know if we can do anything as a board, I think it is out of code. I think that's what held some. They started something they couldn't continue, and I think that's why it's been sitting there with a non-continuing program. Changing the rooms and so on and so forth without building permits, so.
To my knowledge, there probably isn't. I mean, well, let's put it this way. The county says that anything that costs $300 or more should have a permit,
Okay,
but tell me how many people get it.
Well, anyway, I just thought about, because we just had somebody, I don't remember who it was here recently, where there was remodeling done on the bottom floor, which in essence they felt had affected the upper floor above it, or they were concerned that it might.
Oh, I know that, yeah. But
So
that
this
was,
is another bottom floor unit?
this one is an upper,
That's the bottom.
718? I think so. Okay, that's the bottom.
It's right over back.
But there was nothing found on the other, in the 600s about the complaint. There was nothing
Done.
found there.
Excellent.
Okay, finally, Unit 345, again, is let their fees go up to 2 months, or 2 quarters rather. They did it in the past and came in with a full check. I anticipate this happening again, but it is with the attorney for collection now.
And so then when they pay up, they have to pay the attorney's fees and late charges and everything.
Correct.
Why don't they just pay it? I don't get it.
That's a very good question.
You're using
762
logic.
is
Oh,
done
I'm sorry.
10 times. You know.
Not allowed? No.
Hey, John,
Gus,
Go ahead, Gus.
the units over in Oakview, I think it's like 731, I can't remember the exact number. It's the one that's been abandoned, the lower unit.
that's
Anything
718.
new on that?
That's 718.
No, it's over on the other side.
Not familiar with anything being abandoned. If it's abandoned, it's being paid because it's up to date. It's up to date.
Okay, that's the one we walked through back in April.
Yeah, right. No, that's not 731, but I know what you mean.
I can't remember.
Maybe 730. Could be 732. It's downstairs.
Oh,
It's a
I'm
downstairs
sorry.
unit.
Yeah, and they are currently up to date.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
I got my numbers mixed up. You were right about it being upstairs unit on 18.
It's okay. You're allowed.
Okay. All right, old business.
Okay, the first one we have is the structural repairs on the walkways upstairs. All of the, we anticipated another 2 years doing it, but since they were coming through fast and getting everything done at a much more reasonable cost, all the structural repairs have been finished. We have to go back and do certain things. There's still some touch-up painting to do, and there's a couple little stucco repairs to be made. However, and then of course we have to go back and paint, and I've got some ideas about the paint I'll preside to the building committee about. But all the slab floors will have to be painted. But the structural repairs are complete at a cost of close to $100,000, which we anticipated, but we anticipated over 2 or 3 years, so we're going to be paying the bills earlier than later at a better cost.
I just have to say, that guy that was doing our work anyway, what a nice man. I mean, and very professional and very polite, and if you want to give the owner of...
I have already, we've done it, we've met with the
I was just very
supervisors.
impressed with him.
I would love to have him come on our staff as our carpenter, since we still don't have one, but unfortunately we can't afford him.
I just thought he was exceptional.
Yes.
Carport ceilings.
Carport ceilings also are under repair. The only reason the one in S is not complete, is there was structural damage, and the parts have been ordered to take care of the internal structure. It was suggested that we, because of the condition of the carport, is to add some additional staples to the existing ceiling, and he's in the process of doing that. We're going to add 2 more staples, which is all it will take to each section, so that should be taken care of. Okay.
Thank you.
I have a question from one of my constituents, and that's in regards to carports and the potential for building new ones. Have you done any more work on that with the building committee, or is there something you got tabled?
No, last time we checked, we still couldn't get any structural prices because there's still
Material shortage.
everything going to Fort Myers.
I will pass it on to them.
Yeah.
It's
There's a lot of roadblocks on this whole thing.
Tons of them.
But that's, for now, that's the thing.
That's right.
Automatic pools.
Okay, you've seen a copy of the letter I've written, since they don't seem to want to communicate verbally. I sent them a letter giving our stance as far as we will pay. Well, the committee has recommended to pay up to $18,000, but to have some negotiation point, I sent a letter saying we're interested in purchasing for $15,000, and I'm awaiting a response.
I'm sorry, what are we purchasing?
We're purchasing automatic pool chemical equipment. If we replace it brand as new, it'll be about $47,000, so we're interested in possibly purchasing what's here. If we buy it for $15,000, we figure it's about $5,000 worth of upgrades it needs, and then we'll have it, own it, and not pay the $700 a month leasing that it's costing us now.
Right.
Big savings. Audit.
2022 audit, we had an issue where our auditor had a problem with the way our bookkeeper booked the special assessment funds. Not that they're not there or what have you, but just the way it was booked. Our bookkeeper has said that he has completed what the auditor wants, submitted to the auditor. The auditor's reviewing it now, and once he's comfortable with it, we'll be able to submit the audits.
Electric vehicle issues.
Well, we've had an issue with people charging their vehicles by running a cord across the sidewalk, which potentially can handle or cause a trip hazard. Okay, the 527 has been kind of noted regularly more than anywhere else. I met with the people actually today, and explained what the board, the building committee wants to do an experiment by running a small conduit under the sidewalk from just under the fence in the front to an area right by the car, and it would be a conduit that goes underneath the sidewalk, and it would come up outside, and there would be a cap on it so water wouldn't get in there, but it would be flush to the ground so there wouldn't be a trip hazard. The owner said to me, if we installed a charging station, he would use it and not have caused the situation at his place. He also said he checked with his insurance company, and they said if you run a cord, I'm not just telling what he said now, he said if you run a cord across the sidewalk, they've never had a claim of somebody tripping over one, but he understands why we're doing it, and but he did say that he would be amenable to using a charging station should we install one. So we're going to put that in next week.
What do you mean a charging station?
Our cost.
The
one we
Our
talked
cost
about.
it's an experiment. If it works,
Yeah.
everybody have to pay.
It's the one
The cost will
that
be
comes
$50
up
to
on the
$75.
other side. Yeah.
No,
To go under the sidewalk.
this is just conduit, not a
Yeah,
charging
yeah.
station, right?
Yeah.
No, nothing. This is just a conduit to allow his plug to
Yep.
come out under the
Good.
sidewalk.
Yeah. He remembers, he was at the
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah, I was there,
Yeah.
but he said a charging station, and that's
Yeah.
different.
No,
No,
I said
he
charging
said
station. I'm
he
wrong.
would like a charging station.
No, the owner said if we install a charging
Electric
station for
he would
general
be more
use,
than glad to
he would
use it.
use it
Yeah.
and not run any cords anywhere.
Yeah.
But there's I guess 8 cars that are requiring charging right now in our community. And should this work, we will set a price and everybody will have to pay. But this is put in for experiment to see if it does work. So that's why, and it's going to be minimal cost to put it in.
That's great.
Okay,
Pam had tonight something she wanted to bring up.
well, based on what you sent us from, was that from our attorney?
That came, yeah, that came from the attorney. It's the statute regarding condominiums and electrical vehicles.
Okay. People who have an electrical vehicle and they choose to plug it in have to have an insurance policy that the association is named as, where was that?
Second page.
Yeah,
It's a beneficiary, correct?
yeah. I'm just reviewing it myself as you did, so.
And, I reviewed when you first sent it. But my question is, for those people who have electric bicycles, if they are plugging them in indoors and the apparatus is not code, that those are starting fires. There was one in New York City in an apartment building because they had it plugged in downstairs in the entryway, and it killed 3 children in that apartment building.
Okay.
But we could have the same trouble
And we
with the
could have the same
television
trouble
set.
with the upstairs units, the units next door on either side. We need to be really, really vigilant on these electric vehicles.
But we also have to be a little bit more understanding that a television set and a bicycle is the same.
No, they're not. The television set does not have the lithium battery that you cannot put the fire out with.
Well, the point is it's one thing out of a million. We could look for a lot of things like this, but we need to be.
Could require them to charge those outside.
If that's the
And then only
case,
bring
then
them in
that's the way it
when they're not
should be.
charging.
Well, then that's
But,
their option, I suppose.
We could get into some very deep things here where if it's not a red bicycle, it doesn't belong in the.
Well, I'm just saying, based upon what we got from the attorney, it looks like they have, the legislation has thought this through, that insurance is necessary and that condo associations be, because there is a danger.
Maybe that insurance policy would cover that too, in the fire situation.
Is that's on the second page, then item 4. So is that something that you need to get before you're gonna do this experiment, or?
No, this is all exterior.
Well, this is
experiment.
exterior, this
has
is not,
nothing to do with
this is
it.
not in the carport, it's not next to the condo.
I don't know of any, I mean, I'm sure there are some here, but I don't know of anybody that has any, but they even start with.
Well, I see them, I just don't know where they're
Yeah,
from.
I don't either, you know, but
I
we
don't know
can,
which association they belong to.
we can certainly send out an email to all owners requesting if they're using them, contact me, and I'll be happy to make sure the law is followed. We'll do that. If that's okay?
Are we allowed to comment as we go along?
Go ahead, please.
Okay. We just purchased a vehicle that has to be plugged in. And so my question is, we don't have assigned parking. So if we install, if your experiment works out, which I'm hoping it will, and that happens, will we consider maybe assigned parking so nobody else parks in the place where I need to be to plug my car in?
Association documents require open parking unless the majority of the owners in that cluster vote to have
Specific assigned parking.
designated parking.
You have a parking space right in front of your door, right?
I do.
Does anybody ever usually park there besides you?
Seldom.
Yeah, well, right now, it's the best thing we can come up with before either, because this is a big thing in the future. Certainly, there's gonna have to be some stations considered in the future and other things, but right now, it would be, hopefully, they would understand it's your space. Common courtesy should dictate.
So at this point, if I'm understanding, we would run electric out to the post, like where the gate, where the
The
entry
post
to
or
the
coming off the
courtyard.
wall, either way.
And then you guys would put the conduit underneath, that's the plan. So the electric would go out to the edge of the courtyard
Right.
and then go underground.
Just
So-
underneath the sidewalk.
Right, so we would need to install an outlet out toward the edge of our courtyard?
No, people are
You can
using
run
it
a cord
right.
across your courtyard.
Okay,
Yeah, that's not.
That's your problem inside.
okay.
No.
Just checking.
Public sidewalk, yeah.
Because we're gonna have to put an outlet somewhere, and so I wanna put it in the right place.
Well, usually there's an outlet already inside the courtyard. Well, you don't have one, well, yeah, most people have them, so you would have to put something there. Unless you want to run it in from your house then.
Well, that's what we're doing right now.
You have a front bedroom right there, don't you?
Yeah, we
There's
can
a
go
plug
right
on
through
the
the wall
inside,
and just
but
put
a
it
lot of
right
people
there.
might be able to just put one
Yeah,
out.
and that circuit has very little on it, so that would be the best one for us, because we only need a 15-inch circuit. It's not like it's a huge draw.
Yeah.
What is your unit number?
134.
Oh, okay.
And astounding.
Yeah.
Where am I?
Yeah.
Right now, we're using the rubber cover with a couple of
Yes,
safety
yes.
cones.
And it looks very good. I mean,
Okay, so for now, we're, because we're leaving in a week, so we won't be here. And
You're
I
not
just-
leaving your car though.
No, we're taking the car. We will be leaving the other car. But I just wanted to get ahead, figure out what was going on before we take off.
Sure.
You know.
Absolutely.
A question that, should we be doing another audit, or not audit, but questionnaire for the owners? We have got so many little things like new cars with EVs, pets, which I think we should be registering, if we have a dog or 2 dogs or 10 dogs or whatever they're. We haven't done one of those in a long time.
We have a census that we get filled out occasionally if you wish to have all censuses, whatever the word is, redone, then we'll do it.
Well, maybe we should sit down and think about some of these new things we want to know. A prime example, electric cars is an important thing. I'm thinking that some of the questions we've had on pets might indicate that we should be registering the pet with the new owner's, number.
Isn't that new business?
Well, first of all, I think it would be referred to a committee.
Okay.
And I think that the rules committee, we have one, that's what we could do that, if the board so wishes to do.
It's just a thought that I wanted to put out there for a committee. If we have one forever, if not, we should put them together, because it's timely, I think.
Maybe we need to ask, where is the rules committee?
What's that?
Where is the rules committee?
The rules committee it rests right now with,
Rests.
it's taking a little nap. It's with Claire Dewhurst, and of course Claire's no longer on the board, and I don't know if she's able to run the committee anymore. We may want to think about reconstituting the committee with a new chair. Or we can contact Claire to see if she's still interested in doing it.
No, I gotta go.
Which I will do. I'll do so, okay?
It's because you break.
Well,
Good idea.
who took over the operations manual?
Pardon?
Who took over the manual? Claire was doing that.
I'm looking at Roger right now.
It was back in Claire's hands.
Well, okay, yeah, but Claire's, I'll see if she's gonna finish it or what. Apparently it was finished and then it was
It was
challenged.
between Claire and
Leslie.
Leslie.
Yeah.
They're the two that were working on it.
I wonder if Leslie has a copy.
I'll
I
contact
have a
Claire.
copy.
I'll contact Claire. All right, man.
Possession is 3/4.
Yeah, I know.
Did you hear? He said he had a copy.
I would not have admitted
I
that.
have the copy that was going to be given to the board when Leslie challenged it.
I heard the word "going." That is kind of a statement.
But Leslie challenged it.
Leslie challenged it, and
Yes.
it never got to the board because of her challenge, and she was supposed to work with Claire to get it cleaned up.
Maybe there's a new.
That's what I don't understand, because Leslie was part of the last set of meetings
I know.
to revise it.
I know.
So now there are updates being done that group does not know about.
There is
No,
there's
nothing's been done.
Nothing done, okay.
Nothing's been done since she
Claire was
challenged
Claire was hurt.
the way it was written.
She fractured her ankle and other things, so she's back up to snuff now. She was in the office Friday, so I'll talk to her.
I've got that. Okay, new business, communications.
Okay, you have a copy of the letters, that communications. The letter was sent to Anastasia Belovitz at Unit 271 regarding replacing front door and the painting of sliders. They installed sliders that were the wrong color. We have the paint for them, and they understand what they have to do. The front door is an absolute disaster. And the most recent letter I sent requires it done within a certain amount of days. The mother has called. The mother lives here locally. she said that she would comply, so we'll find out. They've got so many days to comply. The letter is also sent to Tim Sanger of Galaxy Pools, which we earlier referred to. Also, the resident of 534 called regarding the placement of temporary, was called regarding the placement of a temporary fence they had for their restraining for their dog, and they understand that they can't have that front fence across the sidewalk, and so they agreed not to do so in the future. Finally, a letter was sent to Ben Nathan, 146, requesting he refrain from flying drones over association property. He's not a happy camper about that. He says he's a realtor and he thinks he should have the right to do so, but the association 718, state statute 718 governing associations give the association a right to prohibit drone flying over condominiums, and this board has done so. So he understands now.
That's like the second realtor that's tried to fly drones.
Well, there's certain times we don't have to, like Florida Power and Light does some things that by law they can do.
That's for,
But then we notify everybody and tell them, you know.
Property line.
yeah, and
You
for
know, see
safety.
that when we're gonna play a pickleball, you just,
Try being in the pool.
You know, Monica doesn't want to fly
Glad you
over
made
there,
it sit
right,
on
Monica?
That's an old story.
Oh, it's an old story? Okay.
Many moons ago, right? Many moons ago, yes.
we need to, see, approve this carport sale.
Yes, Elizabeth Ramsey, owner of 7-Eleven, has agreed to purchase carport space B8 State 7A from Doris Laskowitz, owner of 710. The attorney is required, and the association must give authority to do so, since it governs the parking and what have you, but it has been done in the past. So it's just a matter of somebody making the motion to agree.
So moved.
Mark,
Second.
motion.
Yeah.
Roger, second. We'll do a roll call. Anybody disagree? Okay. Done. Okay, approved.
All right, palm tree trimming process, I think we can just skip that and move on to, no.
Unimportant, not.
Okay, the current process is to cut all trees to a 9-3 level, misspelled. Again, misspelled, wrong number. Board to discuss. There's been some conversation on possibly having a, I guess a mediated or agreed to type of trimming where the queen palms may go to a 10 to 2, and all sables that need trimming, and we can go out and inventory the sables that don't need trimming and mark them in some way so they won't get trimmed, and do those to the 9 to 3. I don't know, that's for the board to discuss. The building committee, the landscape committee has recommended all trees be trimmed at 9 to 3.
Okay, can I speak? Originally, I agreed that they should all be at 9-3, but walking around now, some of the larger palms have a lot of dead fronds, and they aren't in non-populated areas. They're where I walk with the dog, and there are a couple that are coming down, and one of these days they're gonna come down on me or somebody else. So I think we need to reconsider those large trees with the queens with the large frond. The sables, I have no problem with the 9-3. But some of the other, as long as they're not a pencil cut, I think 10-2 might prevent us from having a lawsuit or an injury or something on the property. So, and originally last year I was way for all of it being 10-2 or 9-3, but I think some of the large ones need to be 10-2.
Coming from a naturalist perspective, the queen palms, I'm fine with doing 10 to 2 because they're very meaty palms and they recover very quickly. And so that's all right with me. I think the keeping the sables at 9 to 3 would be my big initiative.
But if there's dead stuff on the sable, get it off.
Yeah,
That stuff should be removed.
yeah, dead stuff can
I
be
don't care
removed.
what palm it is. Instead, get rid of it.
Yeah, well, I think I would get rid of a lot of complaints too, that we got this year. Tammy, you're next.
First of all, I want to thank Tiffany for her best practice.
Okay.
Best practice info from the, shut up. You had your turn. The best practice info from the arborist. Thank you very much. And Chris for the photos on how not to trim. The photos were great. The palms were in sunny and open areas, so they received a lot of air and they received a lot of sun to keep them dry and healthy. The hurricane before and after pictures were a little bit misleading because they weren't the same trimmed trees. Now, yesterday I was really ambitious and I walked the entire 88 acres and I took pictures. And it's just like looking at his vacation pictures, how boring these are. No, I'm just teasing.
Whose vacation?
She's pointing at me.
Anyway.
Nobody sees my pictures.
I know.
Well, see, now, I showed you.
Okay, anyway, the landscaping is different than the perfect setting the arborist talks about. One, we have dense proximity of palms, oaks, pines. There's poor air exchange. There's very unfavorable sunlight to these areas. It harbors rodents such as rats and also birds and squirrels, which leads to parasites and bugs getting into the top of the palms and making dust. And what happens is you get bugs, and then you get molds, you get parasites, you get fungus. Second, you have vines stifling the air around the palms, which leads to its harboring moisture, which is molds. You have the seed pods, which weakens the palms, and then the rodent, it ruins it robs the nutrients. It robs the nutrients, and it also harbors rodents and birds, which there again brings in your parasites and your funguses. You have your rats and squirrel nests, and this brings in more diseases, carries insects to the palms, and when you have the seed pods being eaten by the rats and the squirrels, that's bringing in more ants and termites and causing more problems with our palms. Yes, best practice is good for normal conditions, but Wildewood Springs isn't a normal condition. Our 88 acres is very unique, and we have to use common sense when trimming our palms. Some palms, and I have pictures, some palms, the sables are out in the open, they don't need a thing. They're getting good air exchange, they're healthy. And then there's others that are trapped with a bunch of other trees. Thank you, Neil and Neil, for planning it all together. And they're the ones that are suffering and dying, and we're having problems. I've been here 28 years, and I have found that we've had more palm death in the 9 and 3 cuttings than we've had in all of the years that I've been here. And it really is concerning to me, and I saw all of this when I've been here. I've seen it, and there's so much more in the last year than it, and it wasn't just because of the hurricanes. It really wasn't. And so that's why we would like to make a motion to change it.
I thought of this motion with
Well,
his help.
But you've been interrupting me, so follow through with
Okay,
it.
I move to recommend to the landscape committee that the sable palms be trimmed at 9.3 and the others, the queens, be trimmed at 10.2, but that brown should come down all dead fronds on the palms need to come off. Because it looks horrible, but I think walking through, it's dangerous.
What about seed pods?
They've been clearing those every year.
Yeah, they come down.
Oh, I don't know if you've been here or not.
Well, sometimes when you trim the seed pods up, you're not gonna be at the 9 and 3, you're going to be higher up.
They clear up the seed pods up in the top too.
But they need to
Because they
come
fall
down.
on you too.
Those pods need
Is there a second to the motion?
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second. Okay, third.
Now you can discuss.
I talked to Jack about the pool areas, and he would like to be able to talk to the tree people and make sure that certain palms are trimmed a little bit more, because when he gets the seed pods down into the pool, they've stained and they've ruined the bottom of the pool. Which means we're gonna end up
Agreed.
emptying and redoing our pools sooner than later, and that's a huge expense.
Well, I think that's
So
very wise.
Jack asked if he could, be around when they start doing around the pools and make sure that they get the stuff that he wants to make sure doesn't get into the pool. So that's my only comment.
Then we shouldn't even need to vote on that, that should just be.
No, I just wanted to bring it out. I
Common sense, yeah.
don't have to vote on that, but
Okay.
just as long as everybody understands, maybe when they get to the pools, it'll be up to Jack to decide.
Great.
I would like to add that grounds should have tree trimming equipment to remove the seed pods without sawing off all of the fronds. There's a hook thing where they can just saw off the pods. And so if they're not using that, then we need to bring that up with them. Because that's an easy way to take the pods off selectively without damaging the tree by sawing off all of the fronds.
You're gonna tell an expert how to trim a tree now?
That's exactly what they were
I
doing.
can provide videos.
They know what they're doing.
I think the thing that we've seen here is that we've had a standard practice that we've talked about before with 10 and 2 and whatever the numbers are for everything. I think we need to have an evaluation by tree, what needs to be done, as opposed to going out there and kind of chopping them off. Do we have an expert? Good. If we do, then he knows what to do and we've given him guidelines. But this common denominator says that we chop everything to 10 to 2 is not going to work for everyone. And we've already made exceptions to the rules. So bottom line, I don't think we really have a motion here at all. I think we just need to go out and take care of the trees with the tree person and not go beyond the specification of the 10 or 9 to 3, if that's what it is.
With all due respect though, John, I have to dictate to the contractor what the association wants, okay? Agree or not agree with John Brown or Carey's or anybody else who's out there, they all lean toward the 10 to 2 more than the 9 to 3.
Because
But
they're
we,
tree
last year,
trimmers.
excuse me, last year we set the policy of everything 9 to 3. So I think with all due respect and a motion to modify our suggestions to him, certainly I'll talk to him about the hook and everything else to take care of the seed pods. But what I'm hearing now is we would change the directions for, we'll mark trees that we don't want touched, and we will have him do the sables, the 9 to 3, and we'll do the 10 to 2 on the queens or the other tall ones.
I think based on what I've read and heard and so on, we've modified our schedule to do all the things that we wanted done as opposed to having one thing, 10 to 2 or 9 to 3,
Well,
which is cool.
yeah.
I mean, I truly think that's what we need to do.
Part of the issue is that we, not to interrupt, we have almost 1,200 ponds.
Oh, gee.
And to go to each one individually, we are going to look at the ones, the sables for sure. So we got to kind of give him a way to go.
Right.
So are we looking to change the policy, the landscape that the board voted on last year?
Last year, yeah.
Yeah, we just,
So should it go back to the landscape committee
Well, that's
to
what
make a
we're-
recommendation?
Well,
it
that's,
doesn't have to.
That's
The
what-
motion's been made to the board, it has to be voted.
That's what I'm saying, like, why isn't it just to refer back to landscape?
No, because
to
landscape
review?
recommended this.
Oh, well then.
Oh, when did that
Recommended all 9 to 3s.
Yeah.
But with exceptions, so we're just expanding.
No,
the-
there's
Well,
a
I
motion
figured-
and
yeah.
the motion with the landscape committee was to do all 9 to 3. So it's up to the board to follow the recommendation or modify it slightly. But going back won't change, because they have a vast majority of saying all 9 to 3.
So what do we do?
So what's the
Well, there's
motion
a
again?
motion,
What's
so
the
we have to
motion?
call-
Motion is, as I understand it, go ahead, read it.
The move is to recommend sable palms be trimmed at 9 to 3 and all others be trimmed at 10 to 2. Referred to the landscape committee, but Brown comes down, trim dead fronds and all palms.
What's the landscape committee think?
Yeah, what's the?
Well, to referring this back to
No,
the
no,
landscape
no, no,
committee.
no.
No, well then I'll
This
just,
will be a board
That's
action.
what I was confused about.
okay, well
All
then,
right.
okay, well then we'll just get that out.
I mean, you take recommendations from committees, and
we
sometimes
go.
you adhere with them, sometimes you don't.
Okay, it's out. So there's no more landscape committee in this motion, it's just to
Does that
trim
work?
the sable palms at 9 to 3, all others at 10 to 2.
Lots of the sables we're not gonna touch.
Can,
I mean,
I just have a
all
I don't wanna
question.
change your motion, but it's always helpful to put a reason why we're changing the existing
For
policy.
safety hazards, for the palms that hung down, if nothing else, huh?
Okay,
I got a couple that I look up every time I walk out my front
I mean,
sidewalk.
2 years from now, I'll be like, why did the board vote on that?
Okay, all right. And dead fronds and all palms for safety.
I do have
Purposes,
just one
yeah.
question. So, in the past, the landscape committee was saying that they weren't touching the palms that were deep within the islands of like palmetto thickets, and that was purely a time-saving thing, right? That it was hard to get workers in there and hard to clean out all of the dead stuff. Are we including those areas in this new the dead frond removal thing? Because that's probably where most of them are, in those areas.
No, because I walk through there, but I don't walk through those dense areas.
Yeah.
So and I've looked, they're not a hazard. It's the ones that are.
Because they're just falling
No.
in nature.
It's the
All
ones that
dense
are out in
areas
the
will
open
not be
areas.
impacted,
Okay.
no.
But not
they'll-
near,
they'll-
not necessarily
Unless
near a
we see
building.
a safety issue.
Sure,
Safety,
sure,
yeah.
sure. Okay.
Chris?
One of the things the landscape committee talked about was the possibility that if we are able to save a considerable amount of money by not trimming as many sables, that we might be able to actually do 2 cuts on the larger queens and royals. That those fronds, you know, in December maybe need to be taken another look at for dead, big dead stuff. And so I think that, again, I really think we can save a lot of money on this first cut by not trimming a lot of the sables. And only looking at dead stuff, and I think that the same thing should apply really to the queens and the royals, and that is, cut the dead fronds, really you shouldn't cut any green stuff. That's the recommendation by the university. And so if you're in a 10 to 2, you know, be careful that you don't cut too much out of the green. One other thing I'd like to point out, and we talked about this at the landscape committee meeting, and that is John was going to talk to some of our people because we have some people that are cutting palms raw. We have some pencil cuts that our people have done, and we really shouldn't allow that.
And we have talked to them. We have some owners who control their courtyards who request it. And we can, if that's the point, if we want to go to the step of saying, for the health of the tree, we won't allow our people to do it, that still might bring somebody in, but there are, you know, courtyard palms that do get.
No, I have one in
cut,
mind.
Yeah. I don't think yours are pencil cut.
Yeah.
When Eddie cuts mine, he cuts a lot of green stuff, and I won't let him do that again.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
sure
what I'm saying.
That's not good for the
That's
tree.
what I'm saying.
But do we need to tweak the motion, to add something about special consideration for the pools? Or,
That seed pod should be removed.
I don't think there are any, well, the main problem with the pools is the seed pots, okay? So I think that we can handle it without
okay,
putting something in there.
That's fine.
And most of those are like queens.
Yes, those are with the really big seed pods.
Yeah.
Question?
You called a question, did you?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, we called the vote. Okay, Cookie.
Can you read that? What we
We're going to, the motion is to recommend sable palms, those are the little ones.
Yes.
Be trimmed at 9 to 3 and all others at 10 to 2. But all brown comes down, or trim dead fronds and all palms for safety reasons.
Okay, I agree.
Roger?
Yes.
I say yes. Shannon?
Yes.
Steve?
Yep.
Dick's not here, Denny's not here. George?
Yes.
Monica?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Marv?
Yes.
Tammy?
Tammy?
What? I'm thinking.
You could have thought before I got to you. I'm blonde.
At least you missed it.
She said yes. Tiffany?
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes.
And Gus?
Yes.
I didn't get
John?
Tammy's vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Didn't get my vote either.
John?
No.
John West.
I just said John.
Yeah,
Oh, did you? Well,
Yes.
It's quite obvious I'm not here.
Well,
Russ,
You are bodily.
Gus has his hand up here.
Gus?
yeah.
I'd
Gus?
like to say, I appreciate the concerns of the falling fronds from some of the queens and the others. But at the same time, we need to address the widowmakers that are up in our oak trees.
Yes.
Okay, that maybe gives us more money to do that. Because many times, 80% of the cutting costs are the trees, the palms, and we're sometimes short on what you're talking about. And I think that, you know, if we can get 100, 200, 300 trees not cut, then we can devote more of pruning some of those trees.
We need to do that, John, because we have oak trees that have dead branches, very dead branches, hanging out over the main drive and a lot of the walkways where a lot of people walk. I know that's true back behind my unit where people go back to pool 6. There's some trees over there that you could probably push over with your hand and somebody's gonna get hurt. And these are big branches that will seriously injure, possibly kill somebody.
It's a good point, we'll follow it.
And Shannon, you've got that jacaranda in your cluster.
Yes.
That's dangerous.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah, the oak right here in the, outside my back gate's got limbs that have been hanging since the hurricane last year.
I guess it's unanimous.
Yeah, you and I.
It was, I said it
Thank you,
has
Gus,
to
for
be.
your point.
Okay, very good.
All right, moving right along. Manager's report.
Well, we've covered most everything but the journal items. We're noting that the recertification of association fire extinguishers is underway. Skimmers are being replaced at Pool 7 due to leaks. Lake fountains have been turned off due to low water and drought conditions. As soon as the level of the lakes come back up, we'll turn them back on as quickly as we can. Finally, notice of maintenance fee increase was sent to all owners and new coupon books have been sent. Coupon books were produced at the office and no additional bank charges was occurred. And there's been 290 surface calls since last meeting that we've responded to.
John, how many of these legal issues that you've got on page 1 are due to people not paying?
100%.
100% of them are due to people not paying the assessment.
All three, yeah.
Oh, he
All
said
three.
the assessment.
These,
Yeah, all three. Yeah,
thank you.
that is all accounts receivable, yes, sir.
Okay, good. Committee reports? Tammy?
There'll be a pool committee meeting July 5th, which is a Wednesday rather than a Tuesday, at Pool 5 at 10 a.m. No.
So,
Who's that? We have, we just had a meeting. We're gonna have another meeting.
20th of July.
20th of July. we got.
You
Anything
said
on the course,
that's
Mark?
the next building committee?
Next building committee is the 20th of July, 10 a.m., Gus.
Okay. What about the next landscape?
There's not one scheduled as of yet. It will be in late July, though, my guess is. I'll talk to Peter.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
John?
John?
I've lived here for 13 years, and today was the first time that I've seen a fire plug. Didn't even know where they were, and unfortunately, it was the one that's got the bag on it.
That's not ours.
That's not ours.
Okay, do we have fire plugs in our area?
Yes, we have 6.
And is there any, does anybody else not know where they are?
There's a blue indicating light or something.
Yeah, there's a blue thing in the road.
Okay.
Shows where they are.
Yeah.
And we have them certified every year.
Okay, and are they painted a yellow or some color at all?
They're not
believe-
pink.
I believe they're yellow.
I think
I'm
they also,
colorblind, that's why I haven't seen them.
they also put a blue reflector tape
Yeah.
on them,
Okay,
besides the
that's good.
blue.
Yeah.
in the
That
road.
was asked of me the other day, and I said, I
Yeah.
don't know.
And all of ours are certified every year, and we did have to repair 2 this past year.
Great, thank you.
What am I missing on committees?
IT.
IT.
No, How can we forget?
Uh,
Right here.
We had a class a week and a half ago,
Yep.
and we talked about general computer issues. Shannon was one of the participants. We had 4 people actually, and I think it was valuable, I hope.
Very helpful.
And so we have another class scheduled for this week. Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock, we have a class that would concentrate on using the website. And so people can bring their laptops, they can bring a tablet, we can hook them into the network here, we can show what's going on the TV, and so we've sort of planned on doing the resident directory, the announcements, the maps, the photo albums, some of the things that we have that maybe people don't realize are there. And so we're hoping to get some, we put
How to
some,
search.
How to search.
yeah, yes, and we, I think we put notices up on the bulletin boards. Thank you.
Meeting here?
Yes, right here in the office. Yeah, 2 o'clock on Thursday.
All right.
Could I ask a
Rick,
question? When do we set the budget meeting dates?
Usually in July,
In July?
so we can set it up whenever you want, and we'll publish it. That'll be the first one, after we get the documents for the first 6 months. Once we get the financials for June, then we take a look at what the trends are. So whenever you want to set it up, it's been usually on a Monday at 10 o'clock, usually the second or third week of the month, but you can set it whenever you want.
You talking about August or July?
We're talking about July.
Is that Tom Penchik should set that, or do we just do
We'll
it
talk to,
collectively?
that's right,
Yeah.
we'll talk to Tom. That's
Okay.
what he
he's out
he
of
likes
town
it.
right now.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll get it set up.
Good guy.
I just didn't want to like book stuff on those days, to
No.
make sure they're free,
Yeah.
or go on a cruise, or as I'm
Why not?
about to do.
All right, director's comments. Mark.
I'm impressed by the energy that went into this thing about trees, about which I know nothing. Okay, and am not a great looker or whatever, so I appreciate the energy and I appreciate the time everybody's put into it, and everybody seems to really have an invested interest in what we do here. I think it's great.
I'd echo that same thing and say that it's a great opportunity, I think, to perhaps save some money on trimming the palms to be put into trimming of the oaks that I've been complaining about for years.
Yeah, you got a few days there.
Yeah, there's a few big ones over there where I live.
Me too.
And cars that have been damaged.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you.
So I'm happy to see us moving in that direction. As slow as it might be, it's still a movement. So thank you.
Turkey.
I'm good.
You're good. Tammy.
I've said enough.
Okay, I won't touch that.
I've said more than enough.
Yeah, I'm good.
I would like to say that one of the things that Tammy mentioned about reducing the amount of invasive vines that we have in the community, I think that's a fabulous idea, and if anyone would like to talk about it, I'd be open to discussing it as well.
May I address that too right now? Yes, I agree that their vines need work. Unfortunately, most don't know that we're running the property now with 2 landscapers. Eddie's on extended vacation that he's allowed to have, and Jose had to go back to Mexico because his mother's deathly ill. And so please bear with us. We'll try to do everything as quickly as we can. We hope to get Jose back. I don't wish for his mother to pass, but if she does, he gets back quicker. You know, what can you say? And Eddie will be back. Eddie's gone for another 3 weeks. So
They're doing a great job maintaining.
yeah, they're doing okay. Just to let you know, because I know Roger, you had some problems with. They cut.
They cut and left it all.
Yeah, what happens is that they're gonna have to gauge what they cut so they can pick it up the same day, so they won't leave it over a period of time. That's really what happened.
Okay.
I'd like to applaud the building committee for having worked out an EV solution for the time being. I think that that's only going to get bigger, but this is really a good.
Well, we get some information. I'm going to get there's a contracting company. Gus was nice enough to send me the information that will come in supposedly and put stations in at no cost, although you got to pay them to use them. So I don't know. So anyway, I got the information, and I'll get a hold of this guy in sometime. But for in the meantime,
There's going to be more than one of those companies.
Cool.
There's going to be more than one of those companies going to do that as this thing grows.
Yeah, it's a way of the future.
the question is,
When's
what
the
are
last
they
time
gonna
you
charge?
saw it,
If they're spending
Same time you saw
$100,000,
That's going to be a growth industry.
yeah, you're gonna be,
Well, then the people that use it pay for it.
yeah, but they'd probably much rather spend $70 and put something on their sidewalk
Yes.
than, yeah.
May I add something that I left out of my manager's report? There's a problem with the asphalt in the 600s where the sprinkler forced water under there and caused a problem. We've got a proposal to have it repaired, but since it's up over $6,000, I'm going to get additional quotes. So we just have to wait for that for a little bit. But we'll see where we are, but I'm getting additional quotes.
I was going to say that I was really impressed with how the lawns have been looking and everything else. This looks great.
So we
And
stay
so
with
it's-
two men.
And I'm
know.
you said there's two guys missing, because just the other day I'm walking along, we actually have grass in a lot of places and so on.
Anything else, John?
No.
I just want to say, like, for a board of 15 people, which is a lot, because my friends in other communities, they don't have near as many board members, that ours get along and get more done than, you know, other boards that have less people and more infighting, and I'm like, it's like, why don't, we don't have that. I hope I'm knocking on wood or anything. But it's healthy discussion.
Yeah, it's Tammy.
I attended.
No, but it's all healthy discussion and consensus in the end, and respecting others' opinions, and just really happy to be on this board for that.
Get the horror stories.
A few years ago, I attended a meeting where one of the board members jumped over the table and was trying to strangle the president.
Oh my goodness. You know what, God bless him for being able to jump over the table.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, that's where that president.
I'd love to see any of us jump over the table. Steve, you're next.
Be safe, Steve.
I know.
Just bring it.
I mean, we do have a lot of unit owners.
No,
I mean, it's-
you're right on. You know, having the extensive experience that I've had, it's a pleasure to work with everybody here. It truly is. I've seen things you just can't believe.
Yeah. And you can't make everybody happy, but I think we do make a good effort to try and, again, do consensus, whatever we can. So that's all I have to say.
That's good board.
I have to add to the savings that we may have with the palm trees, because I have a dead, totally dead carrotwood tree at the end of my unit. that was big at one point in time, but over the last 2 years, it has just died. And then there's one between 412 and 413. 1/3 of it, if not 1/2 of it, is dead with huge branches.
Every year we take out.
Well, this
several-
has not been touched in 13 years. That's how long I've been
That's
here.
way in the back. I
You know which
exactly
one
what
I'm
you're talking-
talking
yes, I
about,
do.
yes.
And we have had a portion of the funds to take out carrot woods, and so this year we.
Well, this one is small enough to where the guys
Yeah, I think we
can
can do
actually
it.
take it
I think
down,
we can
yeah.
do it, yeah. I know the one
But the one
branch.
in the middle, not.
It's like a Japanese movie.
Yeah, I know you. Well, our guys can do more than you think, but the one in the middle's too big.
The one
You're
in the
right.
middle is very big, yeah. So, I try to go out there when the stuff
guys.
falls, the big branches, so the guys can know. I just move them underneath the tree. So,
All right. Gus?
No, sir, nothing.
Nothing. George? Nothing. Good there.
He's muted.
All right, owner's comments.
George.
Go ahead.
I'd just like to say, I put in a request to have my gate fixed. The guy came like almost right away. He did a beautiful job. He was very respectful of letting us know so we could get our dogs put away. Great job.
I was at the agenda setting meeting and it was half an hour longer than this.
Well, we got a good board. All right, next meetings.
All right, next meeting should be the second Monday. Look at that up in July, and the board meeting would be the third Monday. Second Tuesday for the workshop.
You have numbers on that?
Second Tuesday is the 11th.
7/11,
11. And,
7/19,
no.
17.
7/18,
Yeah.
17.
6, 7, 17, yeah.
7/17. Okay.
John, will you repeat those?
Yes.
July 11th.
Workshop, July 11th, 10 a.m., 2 p.m. here at the office, 7/17.
What was that again?
7/17.
It's on the website.
It is.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I saw it.
All right. I have a motion.
So moved.
To adjourn.
Second.
Second for John.